Good afternoon, and you're welcome back to Around the Grounds here at Finalwhistle.ie. All of today's action coming, of course, from the Women's National League. 4 games fixed for this afternoon. All games kicked off at 2 p.m. The final whistle has just gone in those games. We will start down at Turner's Cross for the Munster Derby between Cork City FC and Treaty United. And reporting live from Turner's Cross is Sam Curtin.
Hi, Darren. Yes, well, the players are just coming over to applaud the fans as it's finished here full time at Turner's Cross, and it was a Lauren Singleton wonder goal in the second half, which was the difference between the two sides today. The opening minutes really were a typical kind of derby contest with both sides knowing what was at stake. But the game sparked into life in the 8 minutes when Treaty got a penalty, much to the bewilderment of the home crowd. Ashley Mee dispatched home to give the visitors a lead after 8 minutes. City did respond well and did enjoy long periods of possession in the second quarter. But credit to Treaty goalkeeper Michaela Mitchell. She was fantastic in the Treaty net. Really kind of a player of the match-worthy performance in the first half alone, denying Christina Dring on one occasion and also Lauren Singleton, but more on her in just a moment. The last big chance of the half came through Treaty's Ciara Griffin, who hit a spectacular lob over goalkeeper Maria O'Sullivan, but much to City's relief, the ball hit the crossbar. Second half, City were much the better side, a lot more urgency in their attacking play, and they got their just reward in the 62nd minute when Danielle Burke slotted home from long range, just outside, or on the edge of the box, rather, to level the game. 1-1, beautiful goal into the bottom corner. In the second half then, or later in the second quarter rather, a fantastic goal, a match winner, a worthy goal. Indeed, Lauren Singleton, who was ever present in the City attack, she got a free kick on the edge of a touchline around 30 yards out, and her effort lobbed Mitchell in the Treaty goal to give City a 2-1 lead. Much to, well, must be said, a fantastic atmosphere all day from the City fans, and they went into raptures. Brilliant finish, 2-1 there. Treaty might try to get the equaliser, but could not really create a meaningful opportunity, and the yellow cards were racking up as well for them. What was a tense final few minutes, but in the end, it's a first win for Danny Murphy as Cork City boss. Full time here at Turner's Cross today. Cork City 2, Treaty United 1.
Thank you, as always, Sam, of course, reporting live from Leeside for us this afternoon. We'll move to the west next, where Sligo Rovers were hosting Peamount United this afternoon, and reporting live from the showgrounds is Conal Collier.
Yeah, 5-0 to Peamount, and the scoreline says it all here at the showgrounds. I couldn't really call it one-way traffic, but it wasn't too far from one-way traffic. Stephanie Roach with 3 goals, 2 in the first half and a penalty in the second half. Anya Gorman also scored, and there was an own goal which got Sligo Rovers off to the worst possible start 2 minutes into the second half. Sligo Rovers kept trying to play football, but they were without Orna O'Dowd and Gemma McGuinness on a day when Steve Feeney's side needed to be at full strength. James O'Callaghan returned to the showgrounds where he played many, many years ago, which I reminded him about, but he said he couldn't remember. But he'll remember taking the 3 points from here, and hopefully they have all their paperwork in order and they won't be losing the 3 points in the boardroom later in a few weeks' time. It's full time in the showgrounds. The scoreline, as I said, says it all. Peamount United 5, Sligo Rovers 0.
Perfect, Owen. Thank you for that report. We'll go to a different Dublin team, of course. Shelburne were in action at Tolka Park, the league leaders, taking on second place Wexford Youths. Reporting live from Tolka Park is Sean Crosby.
Yes, well, a massive 3 points for Wexford Youths here at Tolka Park, winning 1-0 in this one. It was a fairly frantic and tight opening 45 minutes. Very scrappy game mainly being played in the middle of the park. Not really a lot of chances in the early minutes. The first chance of the game didn't come until about the 15-minute mark when Kiva Keenan shot just wide. Maeve Williams in the Wexford goal was outstanding today, and certainly in the first half was kept the busiest out of those 2 goalkeepers, making a nice save from a close range header at a near post, and then a really nice diving save to deny Jessie Stapleton from a free kick. Wexford sat very deep in the first half and didn't really create too many chances. Della Doherty glancing a header just wide from the corner, but that was really all that they could muster in the first half. The teams went scoreless at the break, and Wexford certainly would have felt the luckier the two sides with that scoreline. And the second half, again, it was Kiva Keenan with that early chance, a close range effort, not finding the target. Wexford did start to pick up in that second half and get more on the ball, and the game became a lot more lively thanks to that. as the tackles going to fly in, and Noel Murray and Ciara Rossi had a few choice words for each other. Really, the standout player for Wexford trying to get anything going was Ellen Malloy. She had a few chances that couldn't find the target, but in such a tight game and a game with such close margins, it was going to take a moment of individual brilliance or possibly a mistake. And with under 15 minutes to go, we got just that. It seemed like a fairly innocuous attack. The ball was played on the top. Shelburne had it under control, played back to Amanda Budden in the goal, and she went to clear it, but it was chased down by Jess Lawler, who blocked it and would just watch the ball roll into the back of the net to give Wexford the 1-0 lead and 1-0 win in the end, and all 3 points. And that result then means that Shelburne's lead at the top is cut down to just 5 points, and both sides will be looking to keep their push for the title going in 2 weeks' time. And Shelburne travel to Treaty United, and Wexford are back in action at home against Galway. So full time here at Talbot Park, it finishes Shelburne 0, Wexford Youths 1.
Thank you, Sean, as always, for reporting on all of the action in relation to Wexford Youths. Now, slightly off topic, but for those of you who are of a rugby fandom, Ulster have just been beaten down in South Africa 17-15 at the hands of the Stormers. Of course, Leinster suffered a defeat last night as well, and we will have a full-time report available shortly from that game, of course, on the Finalwhistle.ie website. We will stay with Women's National League action. The final game of the day was down in Galway between Galway Women's FC and Athlone Town, and watching the action for us was Sean Comer.
Yeah, Diarmuid, full time between Galway and Athlone Town in Fahey's Field, which the game was moved to due to works on Eamon DC Park, and it's 0-0. Somewhat of a dull affair between these two. I think neither of them really ever got going. Neither of them really deserving of the win. I suppose the best chance either had came about 31 minutes in when Chloe Singleton played a nice 1-2 out on the right-hand side. Her cross was met by Janice Slattery, whose header hit the bar. That was about as close as either team got, but there was some decent chances. The closest Athlone ever got was about 6 minutes after that, when Jessica Hennessy played one of her trademark long balls over the top of the opposing defence into Callie Brennan, who gave chase. She waited for the support to arrive, and she squared it across to Sophie Liston, who was tackled as the ball came to her. There were shouts for an Athlone penalty, but the ref absolutely waved it away. And then in the second half, I mean, it was a bit very similar to the first half. Both teams took a while to get going, and the best chance came about in the 66th minute when Jenna Slattery and Julianne Russell played a nice 1-2, which resulted in Jenna Slattery going through on goal, but the ball never really came down right for her, and she just ended up blazing effort over. They came close nearly from a terrible defensive mistake in the 73rd minute when a free from just inside the Athlone half was lofted in, and Neve Coombs came to deal with it, but she just missed the ball completely. Lucky for her, though, Jessica Hennessy got back and cleared the ball away. I suppose with both of these teams, there just seemed to be two very well-matched teams who ended up cancelling each other out. Maybe the break next week comes at a good time for either side. I know that Tommy Hewitt's side was kind of left short on players due to the Leaving Cert exams. He only named 3 subs, so they'll probably be happy to come away from this with a point. Full-time score in Fahey's Field, and it's 0-0 between Galway and Athlone Town.
Perfect, Sean. Thank you, as always, for that report. And we'll take a look at the results, of course, from this afternoon's games, starting, of course, with the game up in Sligo, where Peamount United picked up a 5-0 win. Another back-to-back big wins, of course, for Peamount, following on from their result against Cork last weekend. Wexford Youths getting a big 3 points over Shelburne. They've dropped a couple of points in recent weeks, but that was definitely a statement of intent that they're there to challenge for the title this season. As Sean just mentioned, Galway and Athlone finishing scoreless, while Cork City claim the bragging rights from the Munster Derby with a 2-1 win over Treaty United down in Turner's Cross. Taking a look at the league table as well, we'll take a look at what the way the league table is looking, of course, after today's action. And of course, Wexford have now cut the gap. They're up into second. They remain in second place, should I say, and they are 5 points now behind Shelburne in second place. Peamount United leapfrog Athlone Town by virtue of goal difference. Athlone moving down into 4th spot following the draw this afternoon, while Galway remain in 5th place. And it's as you were down at the bottom half of the table, of course, but Cork City do pick up their 3rd win of the season. Treaty United are still in the hunt for their 1st win this season. And taking a look at the goal scoring statistics as well, a hat-trick, of course, today from Stephanie Roach now sees her up to 10 goals for the season. She is now level with Ellen Malloy of Wexford Youths on 10 for the season, 3 behind her teammate Anya O'Gorman, while Emily Corbett is on 11, and Aisling Meany and Danielle Burke both got their first goals of the campaign this afternoon. And looking at the clean sheet statistics as well from the Women's National League, Amanda Budden tops the list on 9. Mind, she hasn't kept a clean sheet this afternoon, but she's still the keeper to beat in terms of getting the all-important Golden Glove for the season. Niamh Coombs, of course, goes up to 5 clean sheets for the season, as does Abigail Ronayne. Niamh Reid Burke manages to pick up her 4th of the campaign, as does Maeve Williams, with their respective clean sheets this afternoon. So we'll move on to matters that concern fixtures next week. Of course, we do have a mid-season break now in the Women's National League, so they'll be out of action for the next couple of weeks, but we are returning next Friday with action from the SSE Men's Airtricity League. We'll start with the Premier Division, as 4th place St. Patrick's Athletic host a Dublin derby with UCD at Richmond Park. It's a heavyweight tussle at Oriel Park, of course, as the league leaders Shamrock Rovers travel to take on their closest rivals in the form of Dundalk. And that game will, of course, affect Derry's title chances as well. They'll be hoping to gain ground on Dundalk in 2nd place, of course, due to them being in 3rd place, should I say. Derry are in 3rd place so far this season. They'll be looking to gain ground, of course, on the 2nd place team, which is Dundalk. They host Drogheda, of course, at the Roy McBride Brandywell Stadium. And the last game of the evening is another Dublin derby. Shelbourne had the very short trip to Dalymount Park as they bid to remain above Bohemians in the league table. All those games, of course, kicking off at 7:45. While on Saturday, we have the Northwest derby between Finn Harps and Sligo Rovers at the Showgrounds. Big game there as well. That game is also kicking off at 7:45. But moving on to the First Division action, Trees United will be hoping to keep their 3-point lead ahead of Wexford intact as they are at home in the Markets Field to Athlone Town. Cove will be licking their wounds after the game against Athlone last night. They are at home at St. Coleman's Park to Wexford, and it's 2nd place Galway United travelling to the Carlisle grounds to take on Bray Wanderers in the last game of the night. Kickoff in all those games is at 7:45. While on Saturday, it's Longford Town hosting top of the table Cork City at 7:30 over in Bishopsgate. So that concludes all of our action, of course, from today. All of the Women's National League reports will shortly be available on the Finalwhistle.ie website, and we'll be back for more Around the Grounds action next Friday evening. We hope you will join us then, and we'll have our weekly podcasts coming as well on Wednesday. My thanks to you all for watching. Have a lovely rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.